Hello, everyone, and welcome to Breakthroughs with Bree. On this podcast, we are discussing all of the topics that help us have breakthroughs on our personal and spiritual development journeys. My name is Bree, otherwise known as Healing with Bree, and I'm a channeler, energy healer, tarot reader, astrologer, and soul alignment coach. My mission in my work and in this podcast is to help teach people how to shift their consciousness, how to heal, and how to release beliefs and patterns and fears of their ego mind so that they can step into alignment with their soul to live lives of abundance, purpose, and bliss. In these episodes, I will be sharing either through my own lens and my own channel or through the experiences of my guest, wisdom and expertise about healing, spirituality, psychology, personal growth, holistic wellness, mysticism, consciousness, and so much more. My hope is that these conversations help you feel seen and provide support and inspiration for you with your own personal breakthroughs. I hope you enjoy this episode. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Breakthroughs with Bree. This episode is our monthly forecast for the month of March in the year 2024. So if you've not joined me for one of my forecast episodes, welcome. These are so fun. I'm going to be pulling a tarot spread to tap into the energy of the month, what things we might be working through, and some suggestions from the guides and the cards about how we can navigate those things. And then I finish up the episode talking a little bit about the numerology for the month. And I'm also going to be giving you some of the dates of the major lunar cycle kind of astrology things that are going on this month as well. So I'm so excited that you're here. Another fun thing that's happening this month is that I am launching my first group program, Flow Master. It's a 6-week group coaching program that starts on March 17th, where I'm teaching you how to release perfectionism, control, hustle energy, which is all really fear-based and anxious energy in your life, so that you can learn how to tap into the intuitive flow of your life, so that you can live with more peace, ease, and freedom in your day-to-day experience and become a master co-creator with the universe. Now, this is a really exciting program. And if you want to learn more about that, I highly recommend you listening to episode 29. I talk a lot more about really the intention and what we're going to be talking about in the program. But the long story short is that this flow formula and the components of what it really means to live in flow was one of the things that single-handedly changed my quality of life. It's been the alternative to the really anxious way that I was approaching navigating my life before. It gave me an alternative where I still knew how to get things done. I still knew how to be really effective. And in fact, I had greater trust with myself about when and how I needed to really be in action mode, but helped create a lot more peace and a lot more trust in the times that I needed to be in like a yin rest mode, which most of us need to be in more of the time. But we can't learn how to do that. We can't feel safe in doing that until we've made some adjustments in our belief system and some of the things that we're doing. And all of that I'm teaching you in Flow Master. So if you want to learn how to tap into the intuitive flow in your life, how to release some of this fear and anxious energy, you can feel like no matter what happens, you can ride the waves, you can ride the flow. I would love for you to join Flow Master. So go ahead and check out the link in the show description, my link tree, for more information about how to sign up. Or I highly recommend, even if you don't know if you're going to sign up for Flow Master, listen to episode 29. It's going to be a game changer. All right, with that, I'm going to take a quick break and then we're going to come back and we're going to talk about all of the energy for us in March. All right, everybody, here we go. We're getting into the tarot spread for the energy of March 2024. Now, we got into Pisces season on February 19th. So as of the start of March, we are in Pisces season. I'm going to mention this at the start because we got a lot of water energy in the cards, a lot of them, a lot of love and water, which are all Piscean themes, which is so fascinating. Pisces is a water sign. It's the last sign of the zodiac. So we're finishing out the astrological new year. We're like wrapping up and really integrating the lessons that we learned through all 12 zodiac signs before we start a new zodiac year in Aries season. So there's a lot of synchronicities in this. Pisces is all about unconditional love, compassion, about unity, It's a very psychic and sensitive sign. It's associations with the ocean, again, and that being like that body of water where we're all connected. It's very deeply feeling, it's very creative, it's very artistic. And again, there's a lot of synchronicities with these cards. Okay, but let's talk about the cards. The spread that I do for the monthly forecast is first, I pull a card that's what is the main energetic theme of the month. Then I pull a card that represents an area where we're going to have our biggest breakthrough. And for more information on that, I pull a card on what do we need to release, what do we need to embody, and what is the potential outcome of this breakthrough, right? And then, as to round out, final card for the tarot spread is what is the final message that we should take into this month. And then, like I said, we'll talk about the numerology and a little bit more about the astrology for the month. So let's get into it. Our energy, main energetic theme for March is the Queen of Cups. With this Queen of Cups, what this feels like is the energy of this month is really calling us into deep reverence and connection with our emotions, our feelings, our imagination, and our intuition. If you're like, wow, Brie, that sounds really nice. You're right, it is nice. One of the pieces of wisdom that comes from this card is that when we're really connected to our feelings and our sense of love, both for ourselves and the world around us and the people in our lives, that's when we really find meaning in life, deep meaning, right? And the Queen of Cups, again, she shows a maturity in her ability to really be connected with and flow with her emotions, imagination, and intuition. Even on the card, all the water that's all around her. Okay, so to round out Queen of Cups, I feel like the energy is calling us into our feelings, into our emotions, into our imagination, our intuition. Is that dreams? Dreams is another big thing associated with Pisces season. If you're having a lot of dreams, vivid dreams in Pisces season, that's a thing. And how do those elements of our feelings and our emotion and our compassion and love, how can that enrich our lives? How can that inspire us? How can that enhance what we're creating in our lives? Because we're creating all the time, whether we want to call it creativity or not. And the cups cards are the cards of creativity because it's through that flow of our feelings and our intuition that is really our creative channel, right? So, anyway, long story to say, how can that enrich your life? How can we be more connected with our emotions and our feelings this month in that mature way? How can we receive them? How can we honor them in that yin, feminine, queen energy kind of way? All right, let's talk about the area where we can have the biggest breakthrough. I've done some months where done two areas. This month, had the feeling to just do one. So, where we're going to have the opportunity for the biggest breakthrough is with the Three of Swords. If you're watching on video, which is on YouTube or on Spotify, where I'm showing the cards on the video, you see like a rainy cloud background with a heart that's pierced by three swords. It's a very sad sort of picture, which honestly does reflect the energy of this card. And I went back and looked at the forecast that we did for the full year 2024 because I remember that we got this card. And this card showed up in that spread with one of the biggest challenges that we're going to face this year. So we're in an energy where we're starting to really have the opportunity to face one of the bigger challenges that we're going to have in 2024 in this month of March. But remember, challenges are things that help us deepen into our own power. They help us deepen our roots into ourselves. And really, they're opportunities for the most growth and change, especially related to whatever our intentions that we've set for what we really want to get out of the year. We have to be challenged in order to grow and change in the ways that we need to. So, this Three of Swords energy feels like it's really related to that for us. Now, the card Three of Swords has a lot to do with grief, has a lot to do with heartbreak and heartache, hearing harsh truths or being betrayed, or just that feeling of being hurt, like genuinely hurt by people or situations. Again, like that heartache and heartbreak feeling is 100% the energy that's invoked by this Three of Swords card. Now, what this tells me is yes, there might be heartbreak or heartache or hurt or betrayal that we're feeling this month, but that might not be about something that happened this month. I just had a thing this morning where a memory, a feeling about something that happened last year that really left me feeling hurt and kind of angry came up, and I had a whole moment of working through it. So sometimes working with that sense of heartache doesn't necessarily mean that it happens like right this minute, but it might be one of those lingering wounds that comes up every now and again, and we repress and be like, it's not a big deal. I don't want it to bother me. It's fine. It's done. It's over with. That might be rising to the surface again in this month for you to be able to work through it because it has some sort of wisdom for you. There's some sort of like unfinished business in your own psyche and in your own body that needs attending to. So I would really pay attention to where you're feeling that hurt energy this month because that's where there's a lot of healing nuggets. That's where there's a lot of growth nuggets this year, especially in the middle of Pisces season. We're supposed to be in our feels with this Queen of Cups, right? If we have feelings that come up, that again represent that sort of heartbreak and grief. Like we need to be in those feelings this month. That's like, there's like a portal for us if we really lean into those energies. And let's talk more about what that looks like. We got some major arcanas for the rest of the spread about this area of breakthroughs. What we need to release is Judgment, card 20, and what we need to embody is card 6, the Lovers. Now, again, if you're looking on video, what's so fascinating about this is that the imagery of these cards is actually very similar. There's like an angel that looks very similar for both of them, and people that are looking up at it. It's very interesting. It feels very synchronistic. This is how I would interpret this. What we need to release being Judgment. The Judgment card is a very powerful card in the major arcana, and it can signal when there's a lot of change happening or we're feeling a call towards making a certain change, like that pull to something greater or to like a really big divine purpose when we're feeling that call in our soul, right? Or again, maybe something's like a really big change is happening. You're feeling like, gosh, there's something kind of like divine to this. When this card comes up, it can indicate that. And what's funny is the Lover's card indicates something really similar, that there's been some sort of change. There's been some sort of circumstance that has come into play that is very karmic or very divine or very it has a lot of purpose on like a soul level, and we feel the significance even if we don't totally understand what it is or why, like we feel the significance of things that have been moved and changed. Now here's the difference, especially for where these cards are placed, with the Judgment being what to release and the Lovers being what to embody more of. I think that if you are trying to really fixate on what is like the greater purpose of why these things are happening, or if you're trying to really think overly critically or overly logically about it, if that's the only thing you're really trying to lean on to understand, this heartbreak or some of these changes that are happening, I don't think that that's going to help serve you. And I don't think that's going to help you get the most growth. Now, let me be clear. I'm not saying don't think logically. I'm not saying don't try and have a higher perspective because those are really healthy things that we need to do in order to process our experience in a way that's really empowered and aligned. But if you find yourself leaning on that a little too much, or if you are trying to find that answer and it's not really coming to you, like that's okay. Like release that. The answers will come to you, the clarity will come to you. But if you're trying to force having that clarity right now, I don't think either it's going to feel tough to get or it's going to delay your growth. It's going to create resistance in whatever this experience is trying to teach you unnecessarily. Okay. Now, the alternative, what to embody more with the Lover's card. Gosh, I love the Lover's card. It's come up quite a few times, but we also had it in last month's spread, I believe. The Lover's card's ultimate message is that it's through love and connection and partnership that we really have like transcendent experiences that, again, where we find really deep meaning. Coming back into that, what we talked about, the Queen of Cups card, it's like through love and through this magical experience that we get to have of like seeing another person and understanding them and feeling true love and affection and connection for them in any kind of relationship, the magic that comes from that. It's a really beautiful card, beautiful card. What to embody more of? I feel like we have to be really present with our relationships this month. We just have to be really present with them. And that feels like probably being honest with how we feel about relationships that are maybe changing or ending or falling apart, coming back to this Three of Swords and letting that go, but also really appreciating and leaning on the beauty of the healthy relationships that we do have, or maybe the ones that we're forming, to let ourselves see and feel the magic and the supportiveness that we get from the people around us and from ourselves. This is also like when we truly love and value ourselves is also when we have that transcendent kind of experience, right? I feel like the lovers is almost a little bit more like I'm here in the now and I can see the people around me and I can see this present moment and how we're connected and how beautiful that is and like really being a little bit more in like the present and in like the embodied experience of it, where the judgment card can be thinking like very existentially about it all, like thinking like about the big greater purpose and like more philosophically and kind of mentally about it, right? Painting the picture of the difference because the cards and the energies pointing us to be embodied in our relationships and our love and our connection with other people, as opposed to being a little bit too much in our head about it. I hope that makes sense. The potential outcome, if we really let ourselves ride this wave, if we let the feelings of hurt or resentment or anger or betrayal come up and we feel those, we really let ourselves feel those and work through them, the potential is the Six of Cups. Again, more cup energy, more of this emotional, intuitive kind of energy, which I just love for Pisces season. My Pisces moon loves this. The potential is that you'll be able to look back on it and have a fondness or sweetness or peace or even like a feeling of affection about it looking back. That's what this card tells me. The Six of Cups has like a very nostalgic energy to it. So it does feel like you're going to be able to get to a place with wherever this heartbreak is generating from, where you're able to look back and appreciate what it was and not have it sting and hurt so much. So if that's a place that you want to get to with whatever your things are, this is what the cards are telling you. There's an opportunity for you to really figure that out this month. And again, tying it into the cards that we pulled for the full year in the year 2024 forecast that I did at the beginning of January, the card for the full year is strength. It's us finding our conviction and our personal power and our ability to have staying power because we're so connected and aligned to what's important to us that we can withstand anything, right? And again, one of the biggest challenges was when we needed to face and go through heartbreak and heartache. It feels like there's a little bit of a message that they want to bring through about this. Sometimes what makes heartache and heartbreak so difficult for us is what we think that it means about us and the way that it can make us feel a little bit disempowered or the way that it can make us feel kind of bad about ourselves, right? What I found in my personal experience when I'm doing the work myself to work through the times when I feel jaded or resentful, because you better believe that I do. I'm not here telling you that I never feel that way. I absolutely do. Us water moons know how to hold a grudge, okay? It's not the kind of life I want to live. So I got to do that work and be like, okay, Brie, you're still feeling real spicy about this. And it's literally been 6 months. So like, let's have a talk, right? So what I've found is that the times when I'm really holding on to hurt, it's because again, it's almost like the interaction that happened poured salt on an insecurity that I had about myself. And this is really important to see and to evaluate and to feel. Let your body have that emotional healing and release the energy and let that emotion move through you. But what has been important for me to see about that and to really identify what insecurity or fear about myself that experience poured a little bit of salt on was for me to have a moment to realize that that situation actually didn't mean anything about me and that insecurity that I had isn't really true. Like I mature and grow every single day. So for me to look back at something that happened 6 months ago, there's actually a beauty to that because I have growth and maturity that I didn't have even 6 months ago to be able to look back and see, oh yeah, that didn't really mean anything about me. I thought that it did. I thought that it meant that something was wrong with me or that I wasn't good enough or like whatever the story was that I was telling myself. And that's why this hurts so bad. But when I can look back at it and really honor the part of myself that was afraid that I might not be good enough or whatever that story was, I can look and see, no, look, like this situation probably would have happened anyway. And I did the best that I could in that situation. And I feel okay with that. And I know that, like, this isn't about my level of worth or goodness. This is just like one of those things that happens. I trust in divine intervention and trust that's meant for me will happen for me. So if this didn't happen for me, it just wasn't meant for me. Can I allow that to be the case? Can I stay in my power? Can I believe in what's good about me? Can I believe that I am worthy regardless of situations that might have hurt my feelings before? And can I just take that as an opportunity to nurture the part of myself that feels wounded, really love on her, and come out on the other side with a greater sense of personal power and a greater sense of peace and a greater sense of acceptance about how my life has gone. And to me, that's the strength card. That's a big part of that, right? We're deepening into our personal power and strength this year. And this month we're having again, a little portal of really facing the wounded, hurt parts in ourselves and our ideas, our beliefs that are generating that hurt specifically, since the sword cards are the suit of the mind. Again, in my own example, if it's how I was interpreting the situation and my own beliefs that made that feel ouchy for me, because I had my own like beliefs about that I might not be good enough. If I didn't have those beliefs, that situation wouldn't have made me feel any sort of way, you know? So we're examining and we're working through that this month. Now, the last card for the tarot pool is what is our final message to take into this month? And it's the Two of Swords. So it's another swords card. This one feels like it's a little bit of like a cautionary message. The Two of Swords is when we get a little bit indecisive about certain situations or we feel inner conflicts, especially with the rest of the spread. What the message is, like the energy behind this is be wary if you try and jump too much into your mind. If you're trying to navigate the feelings that are coming up this month by just jumping straight into logic, because intellectualizing things can be a form of avoidance, it can be a form of dissociation, and we're really trying to be in our bodies and in our feelings this month. Okay. When we get a little bit too intellectual, when we get a little bit too, let me just think critically about this and whatever, like that is actually what can create indecision, that can create confusion, that can create inner conflicts because when we allow ourselves to really deeply create space for our feelings and let them move through us, we actually are able to get a lot of clarity. So, what role is logic and reasoning, intellectualizing things? What role is that playing in how you are moving through your emotions this month? Is it a supporting player or is it the control freak that's trying to come in and rule the show and push everybody else out and try and do it itself, but it's really creating more problems, aka lack of clarity or indecision? And can you just try out? Can you try out being in the feelings and letting the clarity be shown to you through all the feelings that want to come up? So, that is the tarot spread for this month. Again, reminder, the main card for the month was the Queen of Cups. Be the queen of your feelings, be the queen of your emotions, be the queen of what is valuable and that you love and the meaning that that gives you in your life and your intuition and your imagination. Very Piscean. And I love that for us. I'm going to take a quick break and then I'm going to come back and we're going to talk about the numerology and the astrology really quickly and then wrap up this March forecast episode. So, the last couple things for this month, I'm having a lot of fun tracking and looking at the numerology for this year. So, I'm going to talk about that briefly and just see if that's something that resonates for you this month. Now, as a reminder, we are in a year eight, a collective year eight. So, that is the overarching theme for everybody this whole year. And eight has the energy and the themes of personal power, of abundance, of money and prosperity, as well as achievement. So, we're thinking and feeling and experiencing a lot of energies related to those themes this year, with it being a year eight collectively. Now, what we can also do is track the energy of each individual month, sort of under the umbrella of that full year. So for March, March is month three. What we do to get the energy for the month is we add the number that is the year, which is the eight, to the number of the month, which is three. Technically, that's 11, but when we reduce that down, it gives us a two. So we are in a month two. So the energy of this month is a two under the umbrella of the full year, which is eight. The themes that have to do with the numerology two is balance, partnership, patience, harmony, and cooperation. So usually the energy of 2 is like a slow and steady, and let's collaborate with other people and let me gently find balance and harmony within myself as well as with the things that are in my life. Like, what would that feel like to really find the right mix of everything in a way that felt super harmonious and super aligned to me, right? It's really wonderful energy. Now for the astrology, I'm not doing any big transits or anything. I just wanted to share the times for the lunar cycles this month. So like I mentioned, we started Pisces season on February 19th, and it will go until March 19th, and then we will start Aries season on March 20th. So again, we're ending the zodiac or the astrological year in Pisces. Very exciting time. Before we get into Aries season, we are going to have a new moon in Pisces on Sunday, March 10th at 5 a.m. Eastern. Remember, new moons are really great times to set intentions. It's when the moon and the sun are aligned, conjunct in the sky. The moon is our emotional self, our intuitive self, again, very Piscean, Queen of Cups coded. And the sun is what we're aware of, what we're conscious of, what is vital to us, what's important to us. So when our emotions and our instinctive self, our intuitive self is aligned with our conscious self, we have the opportunity to decide and to like really bring ideas to life of, oh yeah, this is really important to me. I'm going to do this. That's why it's a really wonderful time to set manifestations. We move into Aries season, the start of a new astrological new year on March 20th. Very exciting, moving from a very emotional, feely, connected, creative water sign. And then we're going to be moving into a fire sign, a cardinal fire sign, which is all about getting things started. It's the spark that lights the fire. It's trailblazing a new way. It's asserting yourself and what you want and what's important to you and making it happen. It's a very fun energy. I'm excited to see what it's going to bring us. And then before the end of the month, we are going to have a full moon in Libra. Remember, the full moons are always going to be in the opposite zodiac sign from the sun season that we're in, because the full moon is when the sun and the moon are opposed in the sky. So naturally, if the sun is in Aries, then across the sky, the moon is going to be in Libra because they're polar opposites in the zodiac. We're going to have the full moon in Libra on Monday, the 25th at 3:01 a.m. Eastern time. So that is your energy forecast for the month of March. I will be excited to hear your thoughts, excited to hear if it's something that's already feeling like it's resonating, or you kind of have a feeling what it's going to be about, or if as you get through the month, it becomes very clear and it does feel like it was very helpful to you. I love getting DMs where we get to nerd out about what you loved about the podcast or other things that I'm putting out there. So let me know what you think. I hope you have a fabulous month. I hope you have a wonderful March. Thank you so much for listening to this episode, and I'll see you next week. Thank you for listening to this episode and for tuning in to Breakthroughs with Bree. Please share your favorite episodes with your friends and loved ones, and please like, subscribe, and rate the podcast on whatever platform you're listening to it, as it helps me continue to create these episodes to help support your breakthroughs. I would love to stay connected with you, so please follow me on social media at Healing with Bree. Please check out my website at healingwithbree.net, which will always have the most up-to-date information about the services that I'm currently offering. And please consider using the link in the show descriptions to subscribe to my email list so you can be the first to hear about any offerings. You can get all of the free resources that I offer, as well as get my weekly channeled messages. My deepest love and gratitude to you, and I can't wait to have more breakthroughs with you next week.